Hello, I'm Eileen. I'm Bankera's Chinese Community Manager, and today we're having Austėja, who was born and grew up in Japan, and now she's working as Bankera's Japanese Community Manager. Hi, Austėja.
Hey.
Can you briefly introduce about yourself?
So, we can do it in Japanese. 私の名前はアウスティアで、日本生まれ日本育ちのリトアニア人です。主に数学や統計、機械学習やデータサイエンスなどに興味があって、ビジネスや特に金融関係でのブロックチェーンの応用に興味があって、バンクエラと一緒に仕事をしています。
Okay, very nice. First of all, what are the most common questions from our Japanese community?
So I find that the Japanese community has a very good understanding of our project. They read our white paper very well and they ask very constructive questions. And most questions are long-term questions, so about, let's say, our robo-chats that we want to introduce in the future, or other banking services, what it's going to be like in Japan, what it's going to be like elsewhere in Europe, in other continents. So that's very good about them. And another very unique thing about them is that they're very supportive, not only about the project itself, but they're very supportive to each other. So they encourage very positive comments, and they're not just seeking a return as a participant in the ICO, but they want to be a part of Bankera and see how the project expands.
In our Chinese community, actually there are a lot of Chinese, they also like this project a lot. But since Chinese having the ICO ban, so actually one of the most common questions in Chinese community is if it will affect them to join this ICO. But actually no, because this ICO is in Europe. Alright, then the next question is, what do they see the advantage of blockchain or digital banking compared to the traditional ones?
So one thing, first of all, is that I think such digital banks are very accessible to individuals, especially for people who come from countries where banking is heavily regulated by the government or in a very unfair way. So that's definitely a plus. And from a bigger perspective compared to other banks, I think such digital banks are very flexible to new technology. So traditional big massive banks have massive funds that they accumulated over the years. But because of their legacy system, once they have new technology that they want to build in, it takes a massive amount of money and a lot of time just to change that one system, even if they had the best engineers. So I really agree with Bankera's vision that they want to build a very flexible infrastructure from the very beginning, that they can develop and adapt to new technology as they come in.
While working with Japanese community of Bankera, how do you see our Japanese clients feel about digital blockchain banking?
So digital banking might be a new concept, but digital payment is already very familiar for us. We have these prepaid IC cards. We call them, they're Suica and Pasmo. They're basically cards that we can tap on machines and make payments instantly. So we use them at public transports or in restaurants, grocery stores, convenience stores, even on vending machines. We just tap and payment is done. So a lot of people expect that Bankera can introduce more services that make payments, daily payments easily, not just paying for one good or one service, but also incorporating a lot of other banking services, and they do expect Bankera to be a pioneer in that area.
That's nice to hear. Also, the last one is while you're working with Japanese community of Bankera, what's the reason why they contribute to Bankera?
So they do find our management team and our advisory team very trustworthy, especially because NEM is very popular in Japan, and we have Long-won, who is the president of the NEM Foundation. So that's definitely one reason. And also there is another advantage that we're accessible for the Japanese clients. We have a full support in Japanese, which is not very common with other foreign ICOs for them. So they can easily get into the community, discuss anything, ask questions, and they find it very accessible and kind to them.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing with us, Austėja.
Thank you.
It's nice talking to you.
Thanks for having me.